time for the Loco Sports Lowdown. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett, Wes Kerr, and Max Araj.
And Crazy Stitch. He would not stop begging for pets, so he had to go on camera. That's his penance. Welcome to the Loco Sports Lowdown. It's Tuesday night edition. Justin Jarrett, party animal official.
Yeah, boy.
I just threw it on for the show for fun. Joined by Wes Kerr and Max Araj, the real G's, the Loco real G's. What's up, boys? Weird week. It's our spring break week, which also means it's our Heritage Week, which means the high school schedule just like drops off the planet. There's just not much going on because a lot of people are involved. I mean, a lot of the schools are involved in some way or another in the Heritage, so they've got stuff going on out there day to day, and it's all hands on deck, and everybody wants to be able to go if they can, although it's not like it used to be. You can't just pop out there and go. You need to have a ticket these days, and the field is not what it used to be either. We'll get into it in a little more depth later, but I think Max said 43 of the top 50. One of y'all said that earlier today.
Yes, that was me.
Yeah, it's a really strong field. Unfortunately, one of the few who won't is Rory McIlroy, fresh off his Masters win. We already knew he wasn't going to.
Congratulations!
But yeah, I think we were all rooting for him, right? Like, especially after he almost choked it away. If you were a golf fan,
he was hard pressed not to be rooting for him. I think with all the history that he was chasing, all the near misses that we saw over the years, I think if you were a golf fan, you were naturally. You're naturally built to root for Rory to get
and
the
the way
job.
he handled it.
He made it to quite the adventure to get it done. Oh my goodness! Look at how many of the missed opportunities for birdies down the stretch that he missed, and even on 18 with the par to seal it, and got done extra holes. But my goodness, certainly a tense couple of hours for the Rory faithful, but. In the day, he is one of the exclusive to have that title, have a complete Grand Slam to his name. So I mean,
it was going to be a pretty good feel-good story either way once you got to the playoff, because Rose finally breaking through at his age at 44 would have been a cool story as well, but would have been overshadowed by Rory's collapse if he had ended up letting it slip away.
But Justin Rose, funny because Rose has had to play. Sort of villain, and the guy comes up not just this time, but against Sergio as well. This one felt a lot like that because Sergio was kind of chasing as well that year, and then he beat Rose barely in that playoff, and pretty much history rewriting itself. Except
you're in a tough position when you're cast as the hero and Justin Rose is the villain, because that guy is not villainous at all. So he's hard to root against. He's hard to root against. Luckily, Rory had a major villain in DeChambeau, but he fell apart down the stretch, so he became kind of a non-factor at the end.
To be honest, I at this point I would have loved to see McIlroy in Harbortown, but to be honest, he deserves a week off, man.
Yeah.
That might be one of the more dreadful Masters I've seen for any golfer in recent memory. As the last time I would think of someone as stressed going through a Masters as Rory was when Tiger won his last Masters in 2019.
Yeah, I mean, I think Brandt Snedeker came here after a near miss at Augusta a few years ago, where he like had a whole meltdown, at the end and like cried and all that stuff. And he came here and I think it worked out well for him because like I think he ended up playing well here that week, and he just kind of got to just like flush it and get back on the horse. Well, so I think it can go either way.
Yeah,
but Rory gets to bask in it now. He gets to go on all the talk shows and celebrate the career Grand Slam. Take the victory
with that green jacket, baby. He's got that green jacket all to himself.
He gets it. He's the only person who can take it out of Augusta National. The current champion. He's the only one allowed to wear it outside of Augusta.
Yep, and they have it for the next year. Until they go back to the Masters, which at that time it will be put back.
Oh, then you only be able to.
You got to put it in your locker.
When they're in the confines of Augusta.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. I always like to see like where they go with it, like Waffle House or the Taco Bell
Right. I
drive-through or
remember
whatever. That's always fun.
When Phil won it, I think once when he won it a couple times, but one year he went straight to a fast food place and ordered
Yeah,
with
Taco
the
Bell,
jacket.
I want to
Yep.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I always like when they do something like that in
Yeah,
their green jacket.
cool.
But yeah, I was really happy that Roy got the win. I think one of the reasons everybody was rooting for him was because he handled the drought so professionally and so
Yep.
well, and continued to be kind of the forward face of golf in Tiger's absence throughout some really tumultuous times. I mean, first COVID, and then the live situation and the split and all that. He was really a good ambassador through all that and stayed loyal to to the PGA Tour and the kind of status quo powers, I guess you would say. And so it's great to see him. He went through some personal stuff. He and his wife split for a little while and then got back together. So it's just really good to see him on top of his game again. And I think he could win a bunch more now. I think that was a big hurdle for him. And now he's going to be free to kind of just play his game. And I think he could go on another good run here through his 30s and get his name close to that Mount Rushmore type status, which gets more complicated all the time. But you got to put Nicholas Palmer Woods on there, right? And then it gets real complicated for the fourth, like Gary Player, and gosh, are you going to put a woman on there? So starts getting complicated. But Roy's got a chance to get to that kind of status. But this week we got the Heritage, and before we talk Heritage, let's talk about our presenting sponsor, Mickelson Law Firm. They've been with us since the beginning when we launched LowcoSports back in 2017. Still supporting us, and they can help you with all your legal needs. But they're our official real estate closing attorney and presenting sponsor of our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage. Quiet on the HHCA front mostly this week with the spring break, but we'll be talking a lot about the Eagles as the SCISA playoffs fire up soon, and we thank Mickelson Law Firm for all their support over the years. Our all-star sponsor, presenting sponsor of the LowcoSports Lowdown. All right, boys, it's Heritage Week. Wes, as the senior native Islander, I feel like you have the most connection to this event, which really belongs to the island, and certainly you come at it from a perspective as somebody who's grown up right there, up the road from Harbortown, not far, and been able to get out to the event year after year after year. So I know you're excited, man, to get back out to Harbortown.
Yeah, I believe this is the 20th anniversary. The first time I went to the Heritage, when a man named Peter Leonard not only won it, but he gave me a golf ball. Gave me a golf ball when I was there on the third round. It was on 14 after he, I don't know what he.
The Aussie, Peter Leonard.
He should finish. Yeah. How do you pronounce it? I thought it was
Leonard. Yeah, Leonard.
Okay, Leonard.
So I believe he also bought everyone who showed up to the quarter deck after drinks.
Nice,
as I'm told.
So Leonard won the tournament, but beforehand gave me a ball, and
nice.
That was kind of cool. I mean, I have that ball somewhere, but yeah, he was obviously it was Saturday, so it wasn't the Sunday finish, but still, I mean, that's kind of cool. Got the ball from the eventual champion that year, first year. I went to the tournament, and I've been pretty much every year since, minus a couple when I was over in North Carolina for a few years. But other than that, I been able to be a part of this tournament for a number of years, number of generations now, which is kind of cool, and it's evolved a lot. Talk about how much just the quality of the tournament has improved since 2005. It's just been leaps and bounds, and just the overall scope and complexion of the tournament and the notoriety has just skyrocketed over the years to become one of the best tournaments in around the tour. And I mean, just when you take away the majors, it's probably one of the most prestigious tournaments of the PGA Tour season, other than a couple in the schedule. So it's incredible how much tournament has grown, and just really cool to have something like that in your backyard. You be able to drive a couple of miles down the road and watch the best in the world tee it up. And so I'll be there all 4 days, and just pumped to take it in once again coming up this week.
And it's in an absolutely fantastic venue. I mean, there's just no better place to spend your day than walking around at Harbor Town. It's so beautiful. It's such a great competitive golf course. Like it's set up. It's a great spectator course. Every hole's good. I mean, there's not a clunker in there. It's so great. I've been to other professional events, and even Bay Hill, beautiful golf course, great place in Orlando. The finishing holes are phenomenal, but there's some holes through the course that you're kind of nondescript for a stretch, at times. And I just think Harbor Town is one of the cream of the crop as far as interesting golf courses go. And it requires such a varied skill set to be able to be successful there. And that's why I think that, even when the fields weren't always the very best, there were a ton of major champions who won here, who went on. They either won here early and they went on to greatness, or they were already accomplished when they won here. The list is really good. So we're gonna add another big name to the list this week, because it is not, like you said, Wes. It's not like the old days where it's a full field event. And some of the guys that are kind of at the bottom of the pecking order are getting in because guys are skipping it the week after the Masters. The tour has done a lot to help kind of prop
tell
this
you
event
what,
up, and it has stood on its own.
I'll go back just a few years.
Yeah.
When a couple years where I missed it, you look at the guys that won. Brendan Grace, Wesley
Right.
Bryan, of course, is a big first South Carolina win it. Kodaira. I mean, those guys certainly are far off from the household names. But you look at just the last few years, you got Jordan Spieth, Matthew Fitzpatrick, Scotty Scheffler. So you just see over just a couple of years, and I think the COVID year had a lot to do with that. Actually, one of the unintended benefits of COVID was that tournament was the second tournament back on the tour. And so all the best player, a good part of the best players, they wanted to get back out there, so they went to the Heritage. And I think that year, and everybody was watching because there were very few other sports on at that time.
Right.
I think that did a lot to really up the prestige of this tournament that year.
I agree. I agree completely. And I think it also allowed the tournament organizers, the people who put it on, to spend a lot of time with the PGA Tour folks, working through logistics of how you get back on the course and how you do it at this venue. And I just think it was an overall really professionally run, good experience. And I think it just put the Heritage in the good graces of the tour more than it already was even. I think also, I mean, the tour has definitely helped prop it up, but I think it stood on its own in the sense that once they put in an incentive to get guys to come here, they started coming back.
Well, I think the elevated status is really the big factor, which, I mean, the bigger paychecks, obviously, no more cuts. You're guaranteed a paycheck at the end of the tournament. So that obviously entices players to come. But you've talked many years about how players rate so high in the tour every year.
They do,
They love coming here.
The only reason some guys didn't come is because they didn't think they could win. They didn't think it was a course that suited them. Cooch, what we got to film. This is one of the other underrated cool things about the Heritage, is just that all of us who have do this job in some form or fashion, we actually pride ourselves on covering high schools and local sports and stuff, but it's still really cool to get to go out and cover big name players and have some more eyeballs on your coverage and stuff like that. So we always look forward to that and trying to rub shoulders with some of the greats in the field and all that stuff. I got the favorites up here. Who do you think's the favorite to win, boys? You want to guess? I'll give you two guesses, and the first one.
I think we know who's at the top. It's got to be Scheffler at the top.
Yeah, it's clearly Scotty Scheffler.
Yep.
By a pretty good margin, and then Morikawa and Schauffele.
Oberg was right there at Augusta last week.
Cantlay is always in the hunt here. Lowry
he's
as well. Connors is a guy
Connors.
that I
Yeah,
identified
Connors,
years ago.
dark horse winner
Look
right
who's
there.
down.
40
Look
Connors.
who's down towards the bottom of
Yep.
that list there. Jordan Spieth.
Jordan
is
Spieth,
another case
he's
Jason
that,
playing out.
Day.
So
and he
almost
plays
went back
well
to
on
back.
this course.
Lost to Fitzpatrick in the playoff 2 years. Almost went to the weekly, won it twice in a row. But
Sepp Straka was in the
Sepp
final group
Straka.
with
Yes,
Scheffler
indeed.
last year.
Yep, he's among the top on the FedEx Cup standings right now.
He
So
can
that's
play.
definitely an eye to
Interesting
someone to
names
keep an
there.
eye
There's
on.
Justin Rose.
Yeah.
There's
There's
Justin.
Justin
Yep.
Rose. So yeah, some interesting names.
Yeah.
And then I've got some sleeper picks for you here from PGA Tour. They're gonna say your outright winner sleeper picks. You got Daniel Berger.
Sounds right.
He is spiking, and then Bud Cauley. And I want to say,
wow.
So Bud Cauley, he has ties to the area because he won the Players Amateur at Belfair many years ago.
Yes, he did.
And good dude, really good little dude. Would be great to see him get a win here. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he made his PGA Tour debut at the Heritage on the exemption from the Players Am the previous year, which a lot of guys did back in those days because they got that exemption. And
we've had local talent, make their PGA Tour debut at the Heritage. Like
this is a solid bet.
Bryson Nimmer played at the Heritage. Made his tour debut at the Heritage.
Was it his tour debut? I don't know. I think he had already played the Puerto Rico Open before that.
He was technically there on exemption.
Right, but I think he had played a tour event before the Heritage, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong though.
Oh, I guess so.
I could be wrong. So yeah, then some other guys to finish top 5. Aaron Rai at plus 600. Siwoo shaking that. Let's see what. Top 10 picks. JT Poston. I like that one. Max Homa. Matt Fitzpatrick top 20 seems like just stealing money. Like he's gonna do that for sure. And then they got Cooch. So Cooch has been hot. He's been hot. So maybe Cooch gets it going.
The
crowd loves Cooch.
Well, you look back to that shot from the sand, one of the most iconic moments in Heritage lore. When he pulled that out, and he's a fan favorite over here. They definitely love Cooch a lot. Someone who
nobody likes
a bit in terms of just his big time performances, but that's someone who can really get it going, especially here in Harbortown. So keep an eye on Cooch for sure. Have the tee times come out yet, or will that happen tomorrow?
They have. Guess what I have right here. Guess what I have right here. So they're in 2s, which is one of the nice things about the limited field. So nothing that you get too excited about here in the early groups, which is probably by design. You want the more exciting names coming out in the afternoon on Thursday.
Matt at 9:35.
And here they come. You got Fitzpatrick, you got Siwoo and Cantlay. That's a slow moving, but
Scheffler. Connors Thomas.
Look at that group.
Right Lowry.
Yeah, this is the best stretch right through here. Sungjae and Fleetwood.
That's a good Lowry and hang around. Those 3 or those couple 3 groups.
Yeah.
Oh God, I forgot Gary Woodland's going to be there too. Fowler's here on exemption, by the way. Fowler.
So everybody tees off from 1, or is there 10? Is there
another former Players Am champ? Everyone goes off 1. That's another benefit of the limited field.
There's Wyndham. Ooh, Zalatoris.
Zalatoris.
Get back into it, man. Zalatoris has struggled as of late. I want to see him.
He has. He was here early. Carlos sent me a picture of him on the practice green at Harbortown on Saturday, I believe. Maybe Sunday. I said he would rather be at Augusta, but
have I told you guys my Matt Kuchar story?
I don't know, probably.
Oh, so during the time I was working,
you're gonna tell it again, though, right?
Yes, I will. During the time I was working for Publix on the south end of Hilton Head, it was nowhere near the Heritage.
Really? Oh.
I'm at the Starbucks across the street on the south end, like first thing in the morning, like 6:30 in the morning to pick up my coffee, and in comes Matt Kuchar, out of nowhere, just this Chevy
Matt
or
Kuchar out of
GMC,
nowhere.
Suburban or Yukon just pulls up, and Matt Kuchar steps out of the vehicle, comes in, picks up his cup of coffee. I said hey to him, and he said hey back, and then walked out the door.
That'll happen all over the place. I mean, if you go to Java Burrito this week, you'll see a bunch of them. They all love Java Burrito. But yeah, people, all the guys kind of have, a lot of them who have come for years have their favorite spots on the island, and the people who own the places have developed relationships with them because they come every year. And it's one of the really neat things about the event is just the way it kind of just seamlessly kind of just merges into our island, and everybody's everywhere all the time. I know Carlo has bumped into people at the CVS there right outside, or the Walgreens, one or the other, right outside the Sea Pines gates. Like, they got to go to all the places we got to go when we get to Hilton Head on vacation. So you'll see them in all the usual spots. But it should be fun, and it'll get started on Thursday morning. Coverage, I don't know exactly what the coverage is, but yeah, wherever you find golf, it's on one of the apps and maybe sometimes on your TV. That's going to be, check all the apps where you can find the golf. I'm sure you'll come across it somewhere. Or get a ticket.
All right, I got it for everyone. It will be on ESPN Plus on Thursday morning, and then Thursday afternoon it'll be on whatever that
Golf
NBC
channel.
Golf channel is, whatever. Yeah.
Golf channel.
So.
All right. Check it out. Who you boys picking?
I'll let you know on the tomorrow's show, because we're planning on having a good guest who might help us break it down. So I'll make that call.
True story.
Yeah.
True story.
We'll tease it to tomorrow. We'll give you each of our picks on tomorrow night's show.
Yeah, I don't know that I'll be able to make tomorrow night's show because I'll be on the road to Bamberg for a big Region 4 1A softball matchup. So we'll see whether I make it or not. But we do hope to have Brian Rietveld joining us, our golf analyst, to help us break down the Heritage. I'll throw a name out there that I'm considering for my pick, and that's Sahith Theegala.
Ooh.
I'm a big Sahith Theegala fan.
He had a decent showing at the Masters.
He had a good showing here last year, too. He was in the mix. I like his game a lot. I don't know nothing though.
I like Chef. I think I like Scheffler. I don't know if he's fully back. I don't know if he's fully back to.
Let me frame it this way: Scheffler or the field.
I'll take the field all day. I mean, not saying that Scheffler not going to win it, but just
I agree.
You're
an analytic guy.
Just the level of the competition.
The answer is always the field, unless you let him.
Well, unless you're looking like the Tiger Woods days where he was automatic and almost win every week. But
still though, like the field was still the smart bet.
Right. Just taking Scheffler.
I'm
taking Scheffler, but I would say my dark horse would be Jordan Spieth, because I just think he always plays well on this course.
Yeah, I'd say he's more. I guess dark horse, since like he's not level favorites, but I would not be surprised at all if he wins this.
I would still count him among the favorites.
I think of as not the favorites, but like that next tier, like could win it. Like I don't know, there's like a tier between. If there's a tier between favorites and the dark horses, that's where I would put Spieth.
It's kind of hard to put a past champion as a dark horse.
Yeah,
I guess.
Would you rather me put Ricky Fowler down as?
That would be a dark horse.
That would be considered
a major dark horse.
I'll put Fowler down, but I would like to see Spieth win. I think he needs to win at the moment. He's really
I'll count Theegala as dark horse at plus 8,000. I think that counts. Ricky's at plus 11,000 though. How about Billy Horschel at plus 12,000? He has had his moments here.
He's plus 12,000?
Yeah. Wow. I'd throw a hundo on that.
That just shows you what this field is.
If I had a hundo to throw. If I had a hundo to throw, I'd throw it on that.
Billy?
Yeah. I mean, if I had one to just throw around, maybe make 12 grand on it. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. We can't forget Justin Rose is also.
Justin Rose at plus 7,000 is a nice pick as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I like Corey Connors. I really like Corey Connors' game here, and he's coming
I'm
in.
really getting high on Corey Connors at this point. I feel like
I
he's
gotta
been
stick to
close
my
a couple of
guns.
times.
I've had
And
two guys.
I'm not saying I don't know if I'm going to pick him to win, but I just think that he's going to be in contention. I'll guarantee he finishes top 20. If I go
Yeah,
take that bet every day if he
I
finishes.
would too.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
and there have been two guys in my so I missed the Leonard year. I came in right after I moved here in July after Leonard won. So I lived the year of Leonard being the champ and
Yeah.
coming back and all that stuff. I got to know him a little. He was also one of the guys who led the cricket match that took place on the chipping green when we had the wind
Oh yeah.
delay when Boo
Right.
won. That was great. All the Aussies were playing cricket on the chipping green with
It's
OB
crazy.
steak as the bat. It was great. But
So
my
many
20
stories.
years of covering the tournament, I would say that there are two guys that I was sure were going to win this tournament, and one of them never did. That's Vaughn Taylor. I was sure he was going to win.
yeah.
He played
Yep.
so tough every year here. And then Corey Connors is another one that I ID'd years ago that I was like, that dude's going to win here.
And he still
And he
could.
hasn't done it yet, but he's still very well could, and it could happen this year. So we'll find out. It's a fun time, man. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to get out there, but I'll be sad that I don't, and I'll be jealous of you guys who are.
I will be giving updates
grinding.
from the group chat, and I need to get back on my Twitter and do some more. Especially since I'm there, I need to get back on my Twitter.
Yeah,
And
nobody's on Twitter anymore. I don't know what to tell you. There's no
well, yeah,
good place
Twitter
anymore.
it's yeah, it's
It's a hellscape.
I'm not. Yeah, the guy Elon is.
He's kind of running in the ground a little.
We don't want to get into that. We don't want to get into that.
We don't.
Well, yeah, we'll stop.
We can
we'll
say
stop.
that.
We'll leave it there. We'll leave it there. We'll shout out some sponsors. What you got, Max?
Sorry,
You got something?
I just wanted to say, so this will be my fourth Heritage that I've appeared at, because I grew up in a family that didn't have a lot of money, so it was hard to actually go to the Heritage even when I wanted to.
Yeah.
But this year is different because this will be my first year from a whole different
credentialed
as
credentialed
media personnel, which I've never done before. So I'm
be on
very
your
excited.
best behavior. Follow
of
the
course.
rules. Don't argue with the PGA Tour folks.
Right.
Don't I always?
Don't drink the beer until after the tournament. You know, the play is over and you're just working on deadline. What else? I think that's most of the rules.
Yep, pretty much.
Stay within an arm's length of the ropes. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Be respectful, and you know, remember you're not the story or part of it. You're just there to document it, and you'll have a good time. But I love Heritage. Great week. Enjoy it, everybody who's out there. If you can't be out there, tune on TV so they can add you to the number of millions of people who saw the island on there.
Yeah, we also have another logo.
But yeah, I will. I will be providing recaps, and I'll be on here every night, and we'll get you updated on and everything goes around the Harbortown Golf Links. It's a great.
Yes, and our guy Brady Sacha will be out there as well.
Yeah.
He will not be credentialed, but he'll be out there, and we got some ideas for some fun stuff for him to produce from the galleries. So we'll have a good time. Yes, Media Tent's great. Media Tent's great.
Yes.
Our friend Bob Stevens will be out there providing radio updates. So lots of friends will be coming together.
You know,
at the Heritage.
One thing I would say would be this is because of course the local radio stations always have people out there for the Heritage. This will be the first year, of course, without Monty Jet. Heritage.
Yeah, that's a really good observation.
I would love to commemorate him for the Heritage. I don't know if they will.
I'm sure they will. I'm certain they will.
Something.
They always do a really good job of that.
Who was at the Heritage? He was probably at every Heritage for the 30 plus years he was here in the Low Country area. He was probably at every one of those Heritage tournaments. I mean, I would definitely think.
I can't imagine him missing one from the first one on. So yeah, that's a good call. Rest in peace, Money Jet. I'm sure he'll be watching. from wherever he is. Shouting out some more sponsors. I told you about Bob Stevens going to be out there. He's also the host of Under the Bus, presented by Hudson's Seafood House on the docks. They're back for another year in the Loco Booster Club. Great place for seafood, sunsets, and cocktails on Hilton Head Island. If you don't have a reservation, maybe skip it this week. It's probably going to be pretty busy with the Heritage crowd. You might wait around and go another week. It'll probably be better for you. But Hudson's Seafood House on the docks, great spot on Hilton Head Island. Iconic, if you will. A couple of new sponsors. We've got Hilton Head Furniture. Thanks to Max, the Satola family coming on board. They're big fans of Hilton Head Christian Academy and LowcoSports, and they sell handcrafted furniture made up the road in North Carolina, brought down to Hilton Head, where they can sell it to you to put it in your house for a long time. Hilton Head Furniture. Go outfit your spot. And then our newest sponsor, Hilton Head Island, HHI, Windows and Doors. Coach Barron from Hilton Head Prep. Retired down here, won a few state championships, retired again, selling windows and doors. He wants to help you improve your view of the Low Country, and what a beautiful view it is. HHI, Windows and Doors. Check them out. New Loco Booster Club sponsors. All right, little spring sports update for y'all. We are in the stretch run now, looking at the 4A baseball.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, looking at the 4A baseball standings, it's getting real tight because you got Bishop England's at 9-3, and Bluffton's at 6-3, May River and Buford both at 5-4, Hilton Head at 5-7. But May River has Colleton left on their schedule, and Hilton Head? They got the bottom two left. So they're in good shape. They got head-to-head over Bluffton and over Buford. So they're trying to chase down Bishop England, which right now they're 2.5 games back. I don't think they'll catch them because they don't have head-to-head there. But it's gonna be a fun race there. Really fun race.
Yeah, no doubt about that. By the way, next week we actually get into the playoffs in
playoffs.
Playoffs. Yes, boys and girls lacrosse start on the 20th, so a week from today. Yes, lacrosse begins, both guys and girls. And I'll tell you what, that Hilton Head boys lacrosse team, I haven't been able to see as much as I wish, but they're looking legit. From what I've seen, they crushed May River when I saw them play a couple weeks ago, and I'm pretty excited to see what they can do. Although there are some powerhouses, and of course lacrosse, the way it's set up, it's not like one classification. Pretty much everybody from to 4A competes together, and there's some quality teams in all those classifications. So it's going to be a grind, going to be a battle. But
here's your boys lacrosse RPI, which ironically May River ahead of Hilton Head in the RPI, which head to head tells us a
different story.
But both of them, appear to be among the top contenders, you would say. Although it looks like maybe Oceanside and AC Flora are possibly on a little different level. So we'll see how they pan out. But depending on how the bracket shakes out, they might be able to make a pretty good run, which would be fun.
Yeah,
that'd be real fun.
Yeah,
I think Hilton Head boys are the
Sharks and Bobcats.
The class
in terms of the bracket, I'll take a look and see. It's
Hilton Head girls are right there too.
Yeah, so you have 12. So you have 4 upper state teams. I guess there are more lower state teams, so only 4 upper state teams make it automatically. And then the top
that's weird,
11 lower state teams get in, and these are all based on RPI now. I guess it's all RPI based now. If I'm reading the bracket correctly,
that's what it looks like.
Yeah,
which actually for lacrosse, I don't mind that.
Well, because they don't play a balanced schedule. Yeah, they don't play a balanced schedule, so it works fine.
Yeah,
but that means.
So May River could be seed higher than Hilton Head. That would be wild.
That would be wild. I mean, it looks like they will be.
I'm getting, because pretty much everything is.
That's the only downside.
So that's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
but it would put Hilton Head. Oh yeah, it would put Hilton Head against Christchurch, and then winner against Oceanside.
Ugh.
Well, no, because Christchurch will be upstate.
Right. So yeah, they're not part of the. So yeah, they have the 4 upper state in their own bracket, and then all the lower state teams plus
That's
the wild
wild.
card, the overall at large on the 12th.
So it'd be Hilton Head and what would Bishop
That's
England?
wild.
So yeah, I don't have the RPI with you right now, but yeah, it's basically 1 against 12, 2 against 11, 3 against 10, and so on. For
Yeah, it's strange.
Yeah.
So it looks like they would be 1, 2. Florida's lower state now, right? This time around.
Yes.
Yeah, I believe so.
They are.
So May River would be 3, and Hilton Head would be 4. So they
take
could actually meet in the second round, which would put one of them out to the third round at least, and then they'd get the 1 seed, which would be Oceanside. So, all right. Yeah, we got an idea. We're going to have brackets soon. We're going to have playoff lacrosse soon, and then we start crossing them off until they all until they're all done, and we fade into summer.
But spring playoffs is one of my most favorite times of the year, just because you're going to it's like pretty much every night you got a big game going on, and that's what makes
a bunch. It feels like.
Yeah.
For a few days there, you have a bunch going on, and then it starts to dwindle, and then
you get the bigger ones. You get like
then you get down to 1 or 2 teams that are going to make a run, and you get to follow them. And
Patrick Henry baseball comes to mind.
Right.
Beaufort soccer a couple of years ago. I think there could be some soccer.
May River soccer could be. May River boys soccer, I feel like, could be a fun ride this year.
Yeah.
That could be fun. Certainly, May River softball could have a nice run.
Yeah.
All those baseball teams are capable of getting on a roll.
No doubt. It's like the margin is so thin. You can go on a run. You can get some quality pitching, and it's.
Look, you get a couple of really good pitching outings back to back to start the thing. A couple guys throw CGs right away, and you can roll.
Bracket. Also, by the way, for high school baseball, I believe the bracket is back to the district tournaments this year instead of the previous because we used to have like the last 2 years we had like everybody like a big lower state and upper state or 2 upper state.
Yeah,
the district tournaments are back this year.
They also made another little change to it, and I don't want to misspeak, so I'm going to pull them up here.
So after the district tournaments, they go straight to best of 3s.
Correct.
Yes.
So instead of doing the lower state,
are all best of 3s through the final.
Yes.
I thought we did it with Giza.
So instead of the 14 bracket, the lower state and upper state, you play best of 3.
2 semifinal series and then a final
lower
series.
State semifinal, lower state final, and then state final.
And then the state final. I think that is wonderful. Yes. Good change.
Because we used to do all of our skis rounds used to be best of 3, and now they're still best of 3s in the semifinals in the states, which I think was always a smart move to make anyway.
I like it because I think once you get the lower state, there's a lot more. I guess there's a lot more travel concerns. Although the district tournaments, you still have to travel a decent amount because you got.
I just think it's a better test of who's the better team at that level.
Yeah,
because anybody can have one dominant pitcher, but who can win 2 out of 3 is a much better test.
Right.
So I like it. And we aren't too far from baseball and softball playoffs. They start on like the 5th. So it's coming at us fast. Tax day, by the way. Hope you paid,
April 15th,
paid your taxes.
It is tax day.
Or filed your extension. One or the other. So we're looking ahead to that, to the spring sports. There's not much on the schedule this week.
There's always a handful of skiza or just some teams.
There were some stragglers yesterday, like JP2 baseball beat Hilton Head 12-9. That was interesting. Got my attention. USCB softball has a home doubleheader tomorrow, starting at 2 against Mount Olive. Hilton Head Prep and JP2 playing baseball tomorrow, so that's fun. And then a couple other things on the schedule, but nothing too big. You do have USC Aiken coming to USCB's for softball this weekend as well. So Yeah, kind of a slow week, but that's because we're heritaging.
Yeah, I will be
And
at I'll be at the I almost said Cove. I'll be at Hardyville. Richard Gray. I already missed basketball season, but
yeah,
I also love watching the softball team, and
yeah,
should be a good one. Well, a lot of softball coming up this week. This will be tomorrow. We will
yeah.
have a non-conference series. They will take on Mount Olive, which they've got. I checked some of their stats. They've got some pretty good hitters, so should be a good test for them get ready for USC Aiken. So we'll have one Friday, which I will be on the call for, and
Nice.
then 2 Saturday, which Turner, I believe, or Bracken, one of those two, will be on the call for. As I will be in Harbortown, so I will be. Yeah, you can catch me tomorrow and on
Nice.
Friday night
Very
from Richmond.
good.
Yeah.
Very good. Speaking of Turner, when I got my Party Animals jersey the other night at the Bananas game, uh, I, I don't know what possessed me, but I don't. Do I ever? I just followed. The band went walking through the crowd and the nanas and everybody, and I just followed along behind them and was filming behind them because the crowd was just the energy was amazing, and I just wanted to capture it. And I get to the end and I see that the guy following him with the camera for the broadcast. Wait, I know that guy. It was our guy, Tanner. He was out there doing the thing for the Bananas, running the camera. So I thought that was awesome to see him out there and getting an opportunity with them. And we both seemed shocked to see each other. Like, what are you doing here? Like when your kid sees their teacher in the grocery store or something,
Yeah.
and they're like,
Yeah, right.
"Wait a second, you're not supposed to be here." But no, it's cool. So I have to say that he does a good job on those games. I'm happy for him. He's doing a good job. All right, boys. Well, let's start bringing this thing in for a landing because we don't got to talk just to talk. Uh, Other sponsors of Loco Sports, Base Hit Life. They got baseball and softball themed apparel. You can live your best base hit life and check out their cool styles, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and more at basehitlife.com. Dr. Ambrose Cole, our official chiropractor. You can find him at Rooted Living Wellness in Bluffton, and he'll get you feeling right, mind, body, and spirit. I need to go see him because body is not feeling right now. Mine a little tired, spirit strong, body not so much. Reverence Wrestling Club, our official wrestling sponsor and presenting sponsor of the Loco Grind, and they're training up my guys, Scary Jerry and Coach Gear Baby,
Nice.
to go to the U.S. Open. I can't wait to see how those guys do. I hope they don't get hurt. I really hope they don't get hurt, but they won't. They're training at Reverence, so they're going to be ready. Barefoot Floor Care of the Low Country. Getting your floors so clean, your feet will thank you. And Jay's Barbershop, the place to be in Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not. Some parting thoughts, Jensen. I'll actually start you with one so I don't lose it. But today, of course, Jackie Robinson Day.
Yep. Major League Baseball.
Everybody in baseball wearing 42 today. I have opined at times about whether you should wear 42 or not if you're a kid playing travel ball. And the answer is probably not, but certainly not if you're a white kid. But that's neither here nor there. I was really disappointed to see the release that Major League Baseball put out about Jackie Robinson Day. That I know there's, and look, they'll probably put me on some list or something. I know there's people railing against DEI, but I'm sorry if you don't think diversity, equity, and inclusion are good, important qualities in society, then I don't bless your heart. I don't know what to tell you. They are like it's not really arguable. It's good to have diversity. It's good for things to be equitable, and it's good to be inclusive of people who aren't like us. But they whitewashed the thing, and they left out all the details of why it was important and why we honor him and why that number's retired across the entire league. And I was just really disappointed to see that. Just to see cowardice in those kinds of things is rough, and we're seeing a lot of it right now. So I hope that maybe me being perhaps dumb enough to say this out loud on the internet will inspire others to say, like, this is crazy, man. Like, Do we not remember what this country was founded on?
No.
We gotta celebrate, our differences and our pioneers who led the way. So, and we can't go backwards. We can't go backwards.
Yep.
So that's my
Yep.
parting thought.
Good stuff there. Hoping that we continue that march that we need to continue to progress upon, and Jackie Robinson paved the way, helped pave the way for that with just an incredible work ethic, and made a lasting legacy on not just Major League Baseball, but the entire our country and the community at large. So we continue to honor what he did. For baseball and for our country as well. So great to have Major League Baseball continue to honor him, and number 42 retired in all ballparks, of course, which was several decades ago, and just great to continue to see that continue to be in place across the landscape. But for my parting thought, I got some breaking news for you in the Loco. Or for one of our major figures that we have talked about for years, who has made quite the journey across several schools from Wofford to Dodge City, then to Alabama. Then he went to South Carolina. Now he's a Razorback. He is
really Calipari got him.
Yes, he will be playing basketball for John Calipari. Woo Pig Sooie. Nick Pringle is head to Arkansas.
Wanted him at Mizzou, not Arkansas.
I think it's a fantastic choice for Nick.
It's a great fit.
That Arkansas team was kind of one of the surprise teams of the tournament this past year, and
they sure were.
See who they lose from this past season, but I'll tell you what, Calipari is going to get some recruits over there, and I think the sky is very high with the potential.
They're going to spend money
for that
too.
Razorback team this coming year. The SEC,
they got money. They got that Walmart money.
Yeah,
there's money in that area, and there are crazy people for Arkansas sports who have it.
God, yeah.
They're gonna do fine. He's gonna be able to recruit very well. No, that's a good landing spot for Pringle. You never know, do you? Like, I mean,
I thought he'd
eventually
return to Alabama. Maybe he decided to go somewhere else, but I think Arkansas is a fantastic spot for him.
And I thought he'd stay SEC. I did think that. Makes sense. Yeah. He knows the league. The league knows him. It's the highest profile league at this point, even in basketball. So, and he's going to play professionally somewhere. It's just a question of where. I don't think he's that far away from being a G League type guy. So we'll see. He's definitely got size. Can't coach that, and he's starting to add range to his game. Max, you got any parting thoughts?
Well, along with high school baseball ramping up, and also Major League Baseball, of course, ramping up, college baseball is currently not far from
fun
conference tournament seasons coming around the corner. Not long from now. One of the teams, Clemson Tigers, are currently in the top 4 in the country right now, and I have been watching them. And look, for those who don't watch college baseball and are fans of baseball, y'all gotta look. Y'all gotta watch some college baseball. It is so much fun to watch.
It is
at any level, even if it's USCB baseball. It is fun, a fun sport to watch. And I've had a lot of high hopes for this Clemson team, and they're really playing well this season. But I saw the other day they had their military appreciation day, and one of the things they do is they have a bunch of the Clemson bench players go out into the field, or into the stands, I should say, for when veterans stand up, when the announcer asks for all veterans to please stand up. And every Clemson player goes and shakes every hand, every veteran's hand, to say thank you for your service. And I was watching it as it was taking place, and one of our former LowcoSports athletes, Steelbird, was among those shaking hands of veterans. And I think it's just an awesome tradition to have, and it's just one of the numerous traditions so many of these college baseball programs have, and it's always fun to watch.
Heck yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Really
it's
great
it's
for
really
them.
cool. I'm definitely get into it a little bit more as we get towards May and the conference tournaments, and we'll spill all the way to June, and then we'll get the regionals, which are always a ton of fun. But
Oh yeah.
my guys tonight are in the NBA because my adopted team, because of course I'm a big Steph Curry fan. Golden State
Right.
in the
Right.
play-in tournament against Memphis. The play-in tournament is interesting because you got to work for it, even if you get 7 or 8 seed. Which I think I think the play-in tournaments. I feel like it's gotten a little bit of debate on should they have it or should they not. I think it's fine. I think it gives
I
incentive.
actually kind of like it. I think it's
Yeah,
kind of fun.
I think it gives incentive to finish in that top 6 and to not have to play a play-in game, and then it gives the other teams a little
Hmm.
bit below you a chance to steal your spot. So I like it, but certainly it makes for some more tense action for some of those teams that would have made it if not for the tournament. So we'll see. Obviously, you only have to win one if you're the 7 or the 8 seed. You have 2 chances to win one game. So hopefully, Golden State will get it done tonight. But they're down early against the Grizzlies. John Morant and the Grizzlies. So
All
that
right.
should be interesting. I'm a Steph Curry guy. I have to be
Right.
rooting for him as a Davidson grad. So hopefully he can find a stroke from deep. And no matter what he's done, he doesn't have to do anything else. Obviously, he is if he had his career today, he's the greatest shooter of all time. Hall
Yeah.
of Fame, no doubt, one of the best ever. But he still has that compete at this age. He still wants to win.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No doubt about it. I got another parter for you. We've told you about this guy a couple of times. He fights out of the Foundry in Beaufort.
Mm.
He, like me, is from the great state of Kansas, the
Yes.
Sunflower Slugger.
Ooh.
Here we go. I made that name up. There he is, Trig Tennant. Trig Tennant now 3-0. We saw his first 2 fights in Beaufort. This time he ventured out for a road game up in Virginia and won the 145-pound belt, whatever that is, with a second round finish. So Trig, Marine from over in Beaufort,
Yeah.
via Kansas, 3-0. This dude's a good fighter. He was a state champion wrestler in Kansas, where that means something, and means a lot. And he's a good fighter. He's getting better every fight. So that's kind of cool. I've never known like an actual MMA fighter from their debut. So and Carlo's known a bunch of them. He follows them all the way up through. But I don't have like a favorite fighter until Trig came along. Now I have a favorite MMA fighter. So I hope he
Nice.
makes it far.
Yeah.
Anything else, boys, before we wrap it up?
I did see one other thing
Yeah.
regarding the NBA. Of course, Mike Budenholzer was fired by the Phoenix Suns.
I saw that
But
too.
That guy can't keep a job. He's an awfully good
I know
coach to not be able to keep a job.
he's a great coach. I think he's a great coach.
I agree.
But there's been some backlash for the Phoenix Suns for what they released on social media and their official statement. And the statement says, "Competing at the highest level remains our goal, and we failed to meet expectations this season. Our fans deserve better. Change is needed." Well, yes, I guess change is needed, but Mike Budenholzer getting fired, I think if you should have given them a little bit more time to put that team together.
Yeah.
I just don't I don't understand what it is with the NBA firing coaches at will, like what
These
it's ridiculous. Mike Malone was one of them that happened last week right before playoffs started, and you fired him, and now obviously Mike Budenholzer, they didn't have a great season, granted. They didn't have a great
Yeah.
season, but you got to give him time to put
they
a team
don't
together.
the players don't seem to love his demeanor, his bedside manner.
but
He
he
seems
gets
to
the
wear
job.
out his welcome everywhere he goes.
Yeah, but
But
it shouldn't be what the players like. I
well,
shouldn't
but it
say it like
is.
that.
I mean, it is when they have free will to go wherever
I
they want
know,
to
but
go,
it's
and they
not
don't want to play
just
for you.
about the players. It's about I don't
Sure.
know. I don't know how to
It
explain it.
just seems like he's one of those guys who's good to bring in and kind of build the foundation for 2 or 3 years, and then you push him out the door and bring in a players coach
Because
type
he did
guy.
that with that. I mean, Atlanta.
It is a
He put
players league.
together a team in Atlanta back in the day that everyone was like, "Man, where did they come from?" And then he
Yeah.
goes over.
No, I think he's a good development guy, but he doesn't seem to
Well, I
have a
mean,
great
look how he
bedside
developed.
manner.
Like, look how he helped develop Giannis Antetokounmpo. Look at
Right.
what Giannis Antetokounmpo came to be because
Right.
of Mike Budenholzer.
The guy that comes to mind, even though I don't think he gets a fair reputation, is Rick Renteria. He built that Cubs team. He managed that Cubs team all the way up, and then they replaced him with Joe Madden, and Madden gets the World Series title. And then he had the White Sox right on the cusp, and they brought in Tony La Russa, and he fouled it all up. So it's not totally a good comparison, but it seems to be the same kind of deal where he has a reputation for being a builder, but then we got to get him out of here and get somebody else in here.
Yeah, I would have let
I ain't got no crystal ball. If I had $1 million, well, I'd spend it all.
If I was the White Sox right now, I would have brought back Renteria on a dime, like real quick.
Yeah, well, they probably called him, and he was like,
"Where is he these days? Is he even coaching?"
I don't know. He better be coaching baseball somewhere though, because that dude is phenomenal.
Yeah, he's great.
Coach.
Yeah, I've never.
Well, I'm gonna be singing it all night now. Yeah, if I could find that Hannah and that Sancho that she's found, but I'd pop a cap in Sancho and I'd lay her down. That's a great song.
But yeah, my final parting thoughts is the RBC Heritage is officially here. Scotty Scheffler with the ceremonial drive into the Calabogie Sound with the Cannon Blast happened today, and it's here.
Yeah, that's on Tuesday now. It used to be a Monday thing. Now it's a Tuesday
it got changed recently.
Yeah, Monday was always a tough turnaround. It was tough.
Yeah, especially with all these competitors now that are still like finishing up the Masters and.
Yeah, it didn't need to be on Monday. Tuesday's better. Just give Monday to breathe, and then Tuesday let's get it rock and rolling. That gives the people setting stuff up another day too to really prepare for the onslaught.
Yeah, give those players a day off. They all just play the Masters.
They don't take many days off. I guarantee you, they got here and they started hitting shots and putts and stuff. They get after it.
I wonder if they. I've always wondered: do they fly from Augusta or do they drive from Augusta?
Most drive. Most just drive the courtesy cars on down. It's a very short trip. It's
only relaxing. It's
2.5 3 hours.
It's a
nice country drive.
Depends what way they go though. Do they go down the back roads or do they take the interstate? It's one of those.
And you don't want to go the interstate. There's about 3 different back roadways you can go though, and only one of them's terrifying.
It's the SRS road, man.
The bomb plant. The bomb plant is so scary.
That's the one I take every time too, but it's
creepy. It's creepy. You start feeling like, oh, does it feel like there's tingling in my brain right now? Like, it creeps me out.
Did I just have a third eye pop right in the middle of my forehead?
Right. Like, what was that? What was that? What was that? I thought I saw something in the woods. But,
is there a federal agent sitting in the car behind me? It's just crazy stuff. But it's just I always wondered if they fly down here or they drive. I've never really thought about it until now.
Oh, Kevin Libby. Your ball struck my foot.
I think it'd be more.
I think that's a good sign
that is a great sign that we are done here. Thanks so much to everybody who showed up to listen or watch tonight. Thanks to all of our sponsors, especially the OGs, Mickelson Law Firm. We appreciate you. The boys, sounds like are going to try to get on tomorrow night. We're going to try to get Brian Rietfeld on to talk golf with you fellas. I'll be on the road, but I may try to check in from the road, depending on how things unfold. But if not, then we'll see you Thursday, and we'll have a round of the Heritage in the books, and we'll let you know who's on top out at Harbor Town. So thanks again to everyone involved tonight. Thanks to those who showed up to listen or watch. Thanks to our commenters, especially Mr. Kevin Libby. Indeed, 10:30. Good work. Let's get on out of here, boys. For Max Araj and Wes Kerr, I'm Justin Jarrett. Till next time, stay loco.
The LowcoSports Lowdown podcast is a production of Loco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go Loco!